All right, welcome back. We are doing Am I the A-hole? And we have a special guest joining us. I
It's
don't know if he's
like,
going to talk.
it's been a while. I don't know what to do.
It's been a long time. I discovered I had a cut on my hand. All right, we're going to do this. Thomas has got the control.
Taking
Take
away my
away.
PlayStation with all streaming services because she won't let me use her car.
All right, this
I
was the
like
guy.
it. I like it.
What do you think, just based off the title? He's taking his PlayStation away from her because she won't let him use her car.
You know, I must say, I wouldn't be mad. You know,
Based
PlayStation's
off,
not as like a freaking vital as a car. If he's got to go out and get groceries, or he's got to go out and do something.
this is true.
Just saying.
Based off the title, I'd just say he's a little bit petty. Now read the
Maybe a little.
story.
Oh, you reading? I'm not reading.
Why can't you read? Oh my god. Alright, backstory. 47, male, have been married for 21 years to his wife, which is 50. She's a female. Because I guess wife doesn't mean that. Whatever. We had 4 kids. The oldest passed 2 years ago. So for lockdown, he has 3 kids, 15, 19, 21, wife, and me. I work laid off everyone but the management team, which I'm a part of. We were all asked if we had a vehicle as preference is given to those who can help running staff from place to place. Don't want to give away too much identification to my store. I said I didn't have a vehicle because my marriage is not a real one of two humans working together to make the best life.
Now that's
It's my
petty.
wife.
That's petty. that's just straight up petty, dog.
It's my wife
Colorado.
and her stuff and whatever I can earn her for her and the kids. She doesn't work, inherited a large sum 8 years ago, and refuses to help with the bills. The car was purchased by my wife and therefore is hers. I should add she also owns a second vehicle. When I told my wife that there's a better chance for me to stay working if I have a vehicle, she said, well, of course you can use it, you need to work. That was a month ago. This week I asked my daughter to have the car home so I could go to work, and my wife freaked, saying it's not my car and the bosses are rich enough to pay for my transport. Wow. So fine, if I can't use her car, she can't use my PlayStation, which means no streaming service or televised entertainment at all in the living room for anyone.
Dude, I love this dude's pettiness.
I love it
I'm
too.
with it. I'm with it.
He's really petty.
He
Um,
is, but it is totally, totally deserved.
so if she got a lot of money, why didn't she get smart TVs around the house? First off, that's the
Well,
first
she ain't
thing.
like she doesn't want to spend it, dog.
And how come
So
he can't use one of the cars? She has two.
exactly, which is another thing. So she's being extremely like petty, but with
Yeah.
he's like being petty verbally. So he's like going around telling
Yeah.
people, "Dog, I'm not in a real relationship."
That was cruel and
Gosh.
uncalled for, dude.
Oh, it
So
was. It was. It was.
they need to just separate, first of all. That's not happening.
They
That's not
need to
working
go to
at
some
all.
counseling, I think. I wouldn't say separate. Counseling's probably what I would do first. Just because the thing is that you got to think about it, dog. They got kids. One of them is still like a minor, and you still want to kind of like support him the best way you can. But at the same time, you can't
Yeah.
be fighting over stupid things, dog. She owns 2 cars. She should be able to. He should be able to drive one.
Yeah, but the way
So
she like he wrote it out was that she keeps like all of her stuff separate. Like she just doesn't seem like she wants to be
also,
in
I
it together.
also I'm just saying, if you're a manager, is what I got out of that somewhere out of here. You're a
Yeah.
manager, right? You're from the management team, which is great for you.
Why
You're
doesn't he have a
making
car?
some bank. First off,
Why
second
doesn't he have
off,
a car?
this raises the question of: are you buying every single thing for your children? That's got to be the only explanation.
Well,
Because if
he
he's buying
she
every single thing for his child, then that makes sense. He's buying everything for the 15-year-old, 19-year-old, and 21-year-old. He's supporting him. He's paying for the college or whatever. That would make sense. He's out of money. He can't buy his own car. But if she is not paying a dime for any of that, dog, nah.
yeah, I mean
You
he
got
also
you got to
pays
get
for
her
all the
paying for
bills.
some stuff. You got to get her paying for those children. Be like, hey, if you really care about that children, that you're gonna freak out because I'm trying to take a freaking car to just go to work and make money and support us, then you need to be paying these bills too. So now, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. You're not. You're not a butthole.
Am I the a-hole for telling my husband he was rude to me when he was getting bad news about his uncle? Off the
Personally,
bat, kinda.
yes.
Yeah, kinda are. Alright, let's read the story. You want to read this one or shall I do it again?
Last Sunday, my 32 female husband, male, found out his uncle on his dad's side was in the hospital because of a broken hip, which was suspected to have been a result of a undiagnosed bone cancer. This was obviously very upsetting and complicated by the issue that we couldn't visit due to COVID precautions. Husband was getting info throughout the day from his family. The same day, we had two of our closest friends for some social distancing yard drinks, ended by us sitting in the park across the street to watch the sunset. After our friends went home, the husband and I stayed a bit longer in the park for one last drink where we were tipsy by this point. It was mentioned at this time that my husband received a call from his mom. I heard kidney cancer mentioned, and I honestly didn't make the link that they were talking about the uncle. All day, it had been about his hip and his suspected bone cancer. So when I heard kidney cancer, I thought or hoped it wasn't about the uncle. So eavesdropping, I said, "Who is that about?" Immediately, husband got angry, said to me, "Who do you think?" Then said to his mom, "Who's that about?" Scoffs. I'm gonna let that one stew with her for a minute. I found this very hurtful and an action that my husband and I called biting when we snap unnecessarily at each other. So I'm just gonna take a pause for a second because this thing goes on for a while. But I'm gonna pause for a second because first off, you guys have been drinking, okay? So you really shouldn't take anything personal. Second off, you kind of been hearing about this bad news about this uncle and all day. I think that you might want to make the connection, but at the same time, you don't want to like overstep the boundary of being like, "Who's that?" straight out, especially when he's still on the phone. I would have waited till he was off the phone and been like, "Hey, I just want to make sure I know who this is because obviously I want to support you in every way possible, but who is that?" Oh, sorry to hear that it's actually that and not this, but personally, I don't think you should be offended by him scoffing and talking bad to his mother. He's had a few and he's going through a rough time, so I don't think it's necessary. Oh man.
Wow.
This is about to get bad. He snapped on me, calling me selfish for making it about me and doubling down. That's my question was stupid. I ended up getting up and walking home because we were getting nowhere. We didn't need to have a public blowout. That's good. You shouldn't have a public blowout. When we got home, I continued to not engage while he hurled insults at me, calling me selfish, a B-word, a stupid flippin' cow, that I needed to be supportive of him right now, and obviously I can't do that for him. I continued to not engage until he had calmed down for a good while. Then I made it very clear that I absolutely am here for him, and I care for his uncle, and I am sorry to hear this is happening. But I am not apologizing for pointing out that he bit me. We kind of left it there and watched a movie and went to bed. So you gotta let bygones be bygones. Why'd you have to throw it at him? There's no reason to do that. No reason. Then you're not apologizing for him biting you. You're just throwing that in his face, trying to make him be obvious that, hey, you kind of struck out at me. He knows he struck out at you, obviously. Even when he came home and called you this, he's still striking out at you. He knows that he struck out at you. I guarantee he's not that drunk. Fast forward a week and we haven't really gotten anywhere. He still fully believes I was being selfish by making a moment about me, and I fully believe he was out of line by making a snarky comment regardless of his stressor, and the rest of his actions that night were not called for. So I the butthole?
Yes,
Yes and no.
you should have let it go.
You
Honestly,
should have let it go.
shouldn't have said a
Obviously,
single
he
word.
thinks it's
I
about
kind of get where
you.
she's coming from, but she shouldn't. She should have just let it go.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, he thinks that freaking you're trying to be selfish. And the idea of he already thought you were being selfish up here when he was talking about how you can't support him right now, and then later on you come back to the whole he bit you. It's just you're trying to make it about yourself. It seems like at that point by throwing it at him that hey, you're kind of striking out at me. And this kind of time of need, I don't think that's necessary. I think it's very unnecessary actually. So yes, I would say so.
Am I they for trying to make my girlfriend's oily skin dry and coarse using secretive means? Alright.
So what do you think at
Next,
first, just from the title?
from the title, this the secretive means that throws me off.
Okay.
If you talk to her about it and she didn't do anything, then I can understand going secretive about it. But overall, yeah, you're kind of an a-hole. Just off the title. Alright. My girlfriend has very oily skin, which often gets sticky, and I wanted to do something about this and try and dry out her skin. You see, back 5 years ago when we got together, everything was perfect. But now 5 years later, she has too oily skin. I put up with it for so many years because I wanted to be a good boyfriend, but I finally cracked because I wanted to feel her skin and have it be dry and brittle. At first glance, it obviously looks like I am a total control freak, but in my defense, I have OCD and things of a dirty nature are a real drain on my mental health and well-being.
I understand you have OCD. I would just approach her before we continue reading on with the rest of this. I'd approach her just saying, hey, have you done anything? Have you used any different product to make your skin a little more oily? It kind of screwing with me, and you can kind of try to talk to her like that and try to figure it out. Obviously, don't try to strike out at her and be like, hey, you have to fix this, otherwise we're breaking up or anything. I mean,
It's weird
just saying.
that he wanted to be like super dry and brittle. Because that can get real bad, like cracked skin, like ew. Anyway, at first I started leaving the window open on chilly nights. She had to complain to the freezing, but I made the excuse for a few days that I was down with the temperature. I noticed when I did this, that first thing in the morning her skin was more coarse rather than sliding and sticking across her skin. I could feel the bumpy ridges within. But later in the day, her skin would be slick again. Because of this, I tried feeding her an excess amount of salt to dehydrate her. Sounds crazy, but I could get her to eat huge amounts of salt, as you think she would just taste it, but my tolerance to weed is higher than hers. So when we get blasted, I'm relatively sober, and she's not, meaning I can make her eat almost anything. Oh my god. Dude, that's not okay.
Dude,
Giving her
I
too much
love
salt could kill her.
I,
That could kill her.
I love eating huge amounts of salt. I'm just thinking like this
Yeah.
massive pile of salt and he's just pouring it on
I'm
food like
thinking of
look at this.
handfuls, dude, and
Like
she's just
yeah.
eating it.
Like he's just
That's
pouring
not
it into a
okay.
soup or something. Here, honey, I brought you a soup.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, okay. This did not have much effect on her skin, but made her pale and tired all the time with deepening dark bags under her eyes. Yeah, I wonder why. She's got no water inside of her. Jesus Christ. I figured I should stop before I do any permanent damage to her insides. I'm hoping it isn't too late, as she has had some pretty foul stomach pains since, and I have had to convince her again and again that she will be fine and that she does not need an ambulance.
Yeah, you probably got close to killing her, dude.
I don't want her to
Idiot.
find out about the salt content she has been eating, as the full results may still be ready to develop further as she continues eating much salt, drying her skin. So he's still giving it
So
to
why are
her.
you whoa,
Oh my
oh.
god. Oh my god.
So hold
Keep
on.
scrolling,
I
bro.
figured I should stop. And then you're still it's not that hard to be like, hey, I think you should stop
I
eating
kill her.
salt.
I know this reads like I have so sort of ill intent, but I would never harm her and have never used lethal amount. What are you talking about? Lethal amounts of salt. What? All right. I'm thinking
So
after this week, if I do not see any improvement, I will stop because I do love her and hate to see her so unwell. It's hard to explain how much this can affect your life when the one person you want to touch feels disgustingly oily and creates hell with my OCD. I wanted to make her dry and flaky and coarse in a natural way without hurting her, but I've accidentally made her ill in the process and feel really bad. And now I'm stuck in between my obsession telling me I can never go back to oily skin and my guilt for what I've done to her. I am truly sorry, but at the same time, this is the way it had to be, and I can't regret anything. He should go to jail and then take her to the hospital. That's not okay, dog. When you're a kid, they teach you about what salt can do to your body, dude. It can dry out your cells and kill your cells.
so
That's not okay.
I'm just gonna mention this. He knows that he can kill her with
He
salt.
knows. He
By
knows.
just using, I've never used a lethal amount of salt, but at the same time, you set up here, dog, huge amounts of salt.
He's doing it though. He's killing her, dude. She's talking about stomach pains, and she's felt like she's needed to go to the hospital, which she probably does.
So hold on,
I
let me
wouldn't be
just,
shocked if there was a hole in her stomach, dude. Like
what's
that amount of salt
lethal
is bad.
amount of salt?
You can die from eating too much salt. It's serious. Yeah, poison control. He's poisoning her. He needs to go to jail. I hope that there's a way to like report him, dog. Like he should probably go to jail. Yeah, he's giving her way more than
5
2
grams
grams.
of salt. 5 grams of salt's not a whole lot, I don't think.
He's giving her a whole lot more than that.
Oh, you gotta know that.
He's
Oh,
giving.
dude,
He's like dumping. He should go to jail. I'm being
yes,
100.
and by the way, you are the a-hole.
Yeah,
Big
you
time.
100% are.
Big
You,
time.
you're lucky nobody knows who you are because you would be going to jail. You're poisoning her. You would go to jail.
It's terrible.
That's crazy.
All I gotta say before we start this one, for the viewers at home, I have a dog. Corey is a cat, and I would never, in my life, ask Corey to get rid of his cat. I do not think it's the right thing to do. I
I
don't
would
think
never
I
ask people to
have.
get rid of their pet.
I would never feel like I have the, you know, I don't know.
The goal, the power.
No, I have the goal that I could ask you something, but that serious. But the matter of fact is, I don't think I would, just out of respect for you. So.
Are you saying you don't like Sable though?
No, I love Sable.
Okay, what is that? She's such a great little.
Am I the a-hole for wanting my friend to get rid of his dog?
Off the bat, yes, but let's see what's going on.
Let me preface this by saying that I am an 18 female, adore dogs. I do not like my friend's dog, however, I am frustrated. Also, my friend who we call T, 21 male, is my soon-to-be roommate. We've been living in a hotel for a week before we can move into the apartment. I think it's important to note that we are not romantically involved whatsoever and have no plans to be. I don't think that matters. T's dog is incredibly sweet. He's a German Shepherd Lab. I can see that. However, my issue is the dog is not trained at all. He's over a year old, not potty trained, and chews everything up. I did not realize how bad the situation was until I got to the hotel. My parents had paid for the hotel for a week and will now be paying extra because the damage the dog has caused. He chewed up the siding off the wall in the bathroom while we were asleep. He has peed on every inch of the floor and is making the room stink. We've gotten noise complaints because he barks nonstop. He has a chew toy and everything he needs, but he completely ignores them. The other day, the dog ate T's wallet, social security card, and all of his cash. He also chewed up my new shoes and got it into dirty clothes basket and ate some of my clothes. So let me just say this. Right off the bat. All dogs that I know of, unless they are freaking, cream of the crop pampered pups, and they have gone through training when they were like 5-6 months old, they will act somewhat sort of across this line like this. There is ways to take care of this. instead of just telling your friend that he needs to get rid of the dog. I think that your friend needs to own up for the dog too. So
But it's only a year old.
parents, your parents who have paid for the hotel room and will now have to pay extra, I don't think your parents should have to pay extra. I think the T should, because it's T's dog. Okay. I think that T needs to also understand that a dog that young is going to act reckless and ruthless and things like that. And the best way to do it is kind of keep it in a kennel at a young age until he's able to kind of calm down and control his excitement. Because German Shepherds or Labs, either or, I know it's mixed, are extremely smart dogs. So even though he's acting really, really bad at the age of 1, he's not going to act this way for the rest of his life. I guarantee you. And he's only barking and things like that, I guarantee, just because he's trying to protect you guys. Because he sees you guys as family. So, Corey, you got anything?
Yeah, the dog's only a year old. Like, it's not that, it's a big deal, but it's not enough that he should get rid of the dog. Dog's still got time. Like I said, it's only a year old. Like, that's kind of to be expected, yeah. Now, the peeing on the floors thing has got to go. And that dog, if it doesn't act right, will only be in T's room.
So,
you just got to set the rules.
There's ways to get around that, too. There's ways to get around all this stuff. I mean, the way that I've learned with Jack is to show him what he's done, right? If you show him, hey, you peed on the floor. This is not acceptable. And you go, no, bad dog. And then you get him outside to where he can go actually pee. And you make sure that he's able to pee throughout the day and you're not just holding him in a hotel room. I think that that'll also help out with that. So peeing, tearing up stuff, that's how I've always taken care of this. Is to show him, hey, you can't be doing this, man. You can't be tearing up, paper plates or whatever. You show him what he's done. You go, no, bad dog. You walk him outside, right? You walk him outside. You make sure he's able to go potty. You make sure you're playing with him and giving him enough attention. Because a lot of times, Labs and German Shepherds, they need a lot of attention. They're attention-seeking dogs, so... Right now, we're on the top floor of the hotel, and it's pretty annoying to take the dog out, but I have been sucking it up and doing it when T isn't here. Obviously, every dog, trained or not, needs to have some outside time, so I'm not mad about that. However, T is here, and I'll bring up the dog hasn't been outside in a while. He's been responding with, I don't feel like going down there. He'll be okay. Alright. Well, now you just changed the situation completely. You need to tell T to freaking take care of his dog, because that's ridiculous. Can't be freaking... Because otherwise he's never going to learn not to pee in the house. He's always going to be like, well, my owner's not going to take me outside. I got to go to the bathroom.
Or you can straight up be like, well, the dog's that responsibility, so it only stays in your room, and that's just where it's at. You want the dog
Yeah, but they're
peeing
probably
everywhere,
sharing a
pee in
hotel
your
room.
Yeah, I know they're in a hotel now, but when they move into the apartment, he's gonna have the same attitude. So
Yeah,
what
that's
she
true.
needs to do is be like, that dog can only be in your room and then outside. He can't be anywhere else.
Not until
don't
you're
act
able to
right.
take care of it
Yeah.
correctly. And what I feel is correct. I mean, this got me thinking about the apartment. I can't afford to have the dog in there and chewing up everything and peeing everywhere. T and I both work nonstop and are still struggling even with our combined incomes. So with that, nobody's going to be there with the dog to train him or even give him any attention. And on top of that, since we've decided to combine our money, the dog is draining both of us financially. I've dropped hints that the dog needs to go, but I feel selfish for even being frustrated. He's just a dog, it's not his fault, but he needs to be with a family that will care for him and train him properly. I plan to bring this up with T tonight when he gets off work. I just feel like it's not my place because he's not my dog. But on the other hand, I should have a say since we're going to be roommates. And you should also have a say since you are financially helping that dog. But with that being said, it's a cautious ground there, okay? You got to find an area that's going to work. You got to find a way that's going to be like, hey, you know, freaking, you got to take care of your dog. Obviously, we're both working nonstop. We're not going to be able to take care of this dog. So you might want to give him up, not because you wouldn't be a good dog owner, but because you're not going to be able to train this dog to where he needs to be responsible in the apartment when we're not there. And I think that's where you might go, hey, I'm fine with us having a dog and us financially helping out with the dog. I love the idea. But currently with the puppy, it's not a good idea because you have to give him so much attention. So, I mean, and I understand the whole, you want a family that'll take care of him and train him properly. And I agree with that. I just want to say that my friend is a very good person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be moving in with him. The thing is that he works so much, he doesn't have time to train the dog himself. He loves the dog, and it's obvious, especially when he has a stable place to live. He is constantly taking the dog on hikes and attempting to train him. But T doesn't have the time anymore, so I don't really blame my friend either. I'm just frustrated. T wants to have the dog put through training, but we don't have the money. I mean,
you gotta do what you gotta do. Either get the dog the training, or the dog's got to go.
that's
That,
fair.
or the dog's gonna be in that room, and he's just gonna have to figure it out one way or another.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that fully. I mean, and I see where T is now and where he's coming from, but like at the same time, you got to take care of yourself. So if you're gonna have to be constantly paying for repairs, it's not financially smart for you, and you got to live within your means. So,
Good.
well, as you just heard, Corey's sitting here eating chips. But if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.